Now time to interview the superstar of the day. I have with me Karen Hoyos. She is a superstar coach of coaches, and a little bit about who she is. She's a global trainer, celebrity coach, coach of coaches, international speaker, and successful entrepreneur. With over 40,000 graduates of her seminars worldwide, Karen Hoyos personally coaches Hollywood celebrities, athletes, politicians, entrepreneurs, and other coaches. She has an honorary PhD in psychology and coaching mastery from Logos International University of Florida for her distinguished international transformational work. She's often featured as an expert guest on networks such as NBC, E! Entertainment Television, CNN, Univision, and Telemundo. So without further ado, we're going to bring in Karen Hoyos, who I met a couple of years ago. And the person that I met really empowered me very, very greatly with her story. And you guys are going to be able to hear from her right now. I heard her through an event where she got to share her story about what she's been through, how she's overcome trauma and challenges. We'll talk a little bit about a story where she literally had a gun to her head. And after that moment was when she totally made some transformation. So Karen Hoyos, welcome to the party. Can you hear me?
Yay! Aquí estamos. Feliz 5 de mayo. I can hear you perfectly. Can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine. Can you hear Karen? Put it in the comments. I need to know. We need to know. Can you hear our superstar of the day? Yes, we're getting a lot of yeses. So it looks like we're on a good start so far. So welcome to the show. I'm excited to have you. I'm finally getting to interview you after many, many years. It's been a while. So super excited. And Cinco de Mayo of all days. So what a fun day this is.
I know. Thank you, Manny, for the invitation. I really acknowledge you for your amazing work, for your mission, for creating a space like this for people to grow, to learn with you and other experts. And it is a blessing for me to be here today. I'm very grateful. Gracias.
Thank you. Thank you. So let's get right into it. Now, for you guys just tuning in, for people that have been on our events, they kind of know the game from this point on. You're going to jump to that Q&A tab. All right. You see a little Q&A tab. Click on that. Type your questions that you have for Karen. We want to know because I'm going to be asking these questions. I'm going to give you guys some shout outs. And this is going on the Manifestation School of Business syndicated content, my friends. So over 10,000 global users are going to get sent this interview. So put your Q&A right in that tab right over there. We're going to get to some of those questions. But I have a question for you, Karen. So this educational platform is to really be an inspirational story to the day one entrepreneurs. That is my focus. These kids that are just now learning what entrepreneurship really means. So for kids that, let's say somebody came to you and she had just aged out of the foster care system. She's homeless because 1 in 5 of these kids are instantly homeless as soon as they literally become 18. Happy birthday, get out of my house. Yeah, it's crazy. So this girl is lost. She doesn't know where she's even going to get her next meal, let alone understand how to build her own dream. What would you say to somebody like that that is just stuck and they don't know where that next step is going?
Sure. I'm talking to you who are listening right now, and I get it. I get the darkness, the feelings that you are living, even though I'm not in your shoes. And I understand that that experience that you are living right now, it is very deep and it matters, and you matter, and you are important. And I want you to know that you have a purpose. Even though everything looks blurry right now and you don't know where to go, if you connect into your heart and you tap into that purpose that is within you, you will be able to find it, to hear it. I went through a difficult time too. I'm a survivor of domestic violence. As Manny shared, I had a gun pointed in my head and I almost died. And I remember at that most difficult moment praying. Maybe for you, is a prayer as well. Maybe it's a connection to the universe. Whatever it is that you believe, I invite you to connect to your heart. And within your heart, you won't find out why this is happening for you. I don't know why this is happening for you, but I do know what for. And what for is what you choose to. I know now that what happens to me, the abuse and the difficult times that I experience, it was for one day I can inspire people. So one day I can speak and I can train and I can share my story. You do have a purpose as well. And if you choose to use what is happening to you, so one day you can help other people, and then you will find the gift behind this pain. There is a blessing behind every darkness, and you just have to choose that and have the faith that the best is yet to come.
I love it. And that's, I think a really big problem that a lot of these kids that I find is the inspiration and that motivation to go take on the world is not there. They don't see that it's possible. So for the kids that they don't have the surroundings of people that believe in them just yet. You haven't been in manifestation too long, you know what I'm saying? So for those ones that are just kind of getting their foot going and they need that guidance, what's kind of the first steps you would recommend for somebody that wants to go out and build their own dream and they don't have a mentor yet? They haven't started that business. They don't got a logo. They don't have anything yet. They just want to start helping people and understanding that their story does have purpose. I mean, I met a kid recently. He's an artist and he's one of my students, and from Orphan to CEO, we had him featured at one of our events previously. And when he first met me sharing my story was what got him inspired that it was now possible. And the same thing happened for me. I mean, back in 2008, I'm lost, right? I just got, my dreams crushed because I followed every single thing I was supposed to do for 2 years, and it didn't happen for me. And my mentor at the time, he goes, you should listen to this guy named Les Brown, right? He was in foster care just like you, right? He was labeled mentally challenged. He had all these different things. He had to overcome all of these adversities to get where he's at today. And when I was looking at my own circles, I didn't see it was possible. I looked at the CEO of the company I was working at. I'm like, that guy doesn't relate to me. There's nothing that I can see that I'm in him. But as soon as I saw Les Brown, he's a former foster kid, all these things that were so relatable to me, it made it possible. So when a kid comes and they're just lost, they just stuck where they're at, where do you help them find that it's possible?
And this is a great question, not only for these kids and for everyone who is listening right now, but I think every person who's looking for that dream first needs to realize what is their purpose in their life. This is the name of my book, Purpose, the Ultimate Quest, because I believe that without purpose, there's nothing that really works. There is no business, there is no goal, there is nothing that you can put together that will be sustainable if it doesn't have a purpose, if the root is not your purpose. Because if the root is to make money, be famous, and then it won't last, no matter how successful temporary may seem. So the question will be, if you had all the money in the world, if right now, and you who are in this room, if you had all the money in the world and all the time to enjoy it, what would you do with your time? Not with your money. So listen carefully. You have all the money. What would you do with your time? If you had all the money in the world, what would you do with your time to help other people? What is it that you love the most? That if you don't have to think about working to make it, working to survive, or working to pay your bills, what would you do with your time? What is it that you love the most doing? Maybe it's coaching, speaking. Maybe it's doing something that you are doing right now in a bigger scale, maybe totally different. And if you don't know, think about it with your heart, not with your mind, because the mind is the voice of the ego. So the mind always looking for the stuff, the material stuff. They will come. And it is important to understand that definitely financial compensation will come when you are following that purpose and when you heal your relationship with money as well. That we will talk about that later in a moment. But first is, what is that purpose? Now understand that we're all here to make a difference, to make this world a better place. So what will be your vehicle? For me, is coaching. I coach other coaches. We have over 40,000 graduates of our seminars in 16 years. And we help people to find that purpose and create a business with that purpose.
Yeah.
So if you don't know what it is, think and feel about what you love. It's art, it's painting, it's writing, it's singing. When nobody else is looking, What is your passion? And if you can choose anything right now that you can do every day because you love it, not because they pay you, but because you love it and you can inspire and help other people, what would that be? That is your purpose. And once you have it, and then you can look at role models, people that are doing that, that have versions of that. And today it's so easy in the internet. You can read, you can have access to free information, to their stories. And you will find that all of it, all of them, every person who has been successful, self-made, they went through challenge. They went through difficulties. Nothing is given just to them, but the desire in their heart. That burning desire that Les Brown talks about too, who's a dear friend of mine as well. That burning desire that is within our heart is given, I believe, by God, universe, whatever it is that you believe, higher self. The rest is up to us to choose and to share that gift. And that is a choice.
Yes, I love it, man. Dropping knowledge bombs over here, guys. The comments are blowing up. I'm seeing them all here. I'm like looking at them, like, oh man, this is getting good. So I've got a couple of questions that have already popped in. So just in case, if you guys just popped in and you want to get those questions answered, you got a question for Karen, we're answering them. This is a live Q&A. So it's a very interesting, different kind of format. We're just going to throw curveballs at her and let's see if she can knock them out the park. Let's play along. Are you ready, Karen?
Use me.
Let's do this.
Let's do it.
All right, Elizabeth Mariscal, she has a question. She asks, hi, Karen, I was wondering what helped you become motivated when you were at your lowest point? Ooh, that's a good one.
Perfect. Well, I can say three most important things. And the first one, it was my connection with God. Even though I was at that moment of danger, the gun was in my head. I can feel it. I can feel the fear. I was filled with fear. Within that fear, way beyond the fear in my soul, there was God's presence within me. And I surrendered. I said, God, please help me. And I made a promise that day that I was going to change my life, that if I survive, I was going to change my life. So it is my faith. I do train people that have different beliefs. So faith is beyond religion. So it's not a religious faith, even though you can practice your faith in your religion.
Yeah.
What I'm talking about is the relationship with God within yourself, that it goes beyond what the mind label gives, beyond what you think it is. Faith is what you know, is the knowingness that you're here to make a difference, that you're here for something better, not just to suffer. That was number one for me. Number two was my relationship with my mother, my loved ones, those people that have been there for me. And maybe for you, it's a friend, maybe it's someone that you meet and after you grow up. So those angels come into our life in different form. And in my case, it was my mom, who believed in me more than I believe in myself at that moment. And third, I believe is my ability to choose to use what happens to me for better. So I understood since I was very little, because I used to read quantum physics and metaphysics when I was, 8 years old. I was crazy child. So I had this knowledge in my head, but I didn't know how to use it until I went through adversity. So see, we can read many books and we can learn many things, but unless we use it in our life, without action, there is no reaction. So I knew it, that if I use what happens to me for better, especially what I learned later to help other people, and then my life was not going to be controlled by my past, but it was going to be a manifestation of what I choose to do with my present, and that will create my future. So that was the three things that make a big difference for me, and I still do, because I go through challenges. This illusion to think that because we're following our dream and because we're building the business we want, and then things will be okay. Oh, no. Things are going to be hard. Things are going to be challenging. Situations are going to come, but who you are in front of those situations, and who you are being, and what is the meaning you're giving it, and what you do with those circumstances is what makes a difference between someone who will be successful and who will sustain their success to someone who just try one more time, but nothing really stays because their heart is not in it.
Man, I don't even know how to respond to that, folks. We'll just drop a mic around here. This is crazy. So, I mean, looking at how you look at things and the way of life, it's it's like that common denominator of success. I keep seeing this over and over again. You got to focus on what you're passionate about. Focus on something that you love to do. Have faith that you're building something bigger than you. I mean, come on, guys. I mean, we keep seeing this over and over again. There's a common denominator of success, and we keep hearing it over and over and over again. So thank you for really confirming what it is that we know to be true. We have to serve our way to success. We've got to build relationships. We've got to go out there and serve others and give value in order for us to really build what we truly want to do. If you just go out there to chase money, you'll be chasing money till the day you die, versus living a life where you can truly be too blessed to be stressed, my friends. This is what it's all about. Robert Wall has a question. He says, Karen, when or what was your greatest breakthrough moment? That's a good one.
I love it. So my life has been an adventure since the moment I chose to live my purpose. And I found my purpose over 16 years ago. I was at my first seminar. In this case was with Tony Robbins.
First seminar with Tony Robbins.
Guy who's great.
Start at the top, right?
Yes, exactly.
You must have been very disappointed at every event after that.
No, exactly. Great reference for me. So when I saw Tony in front of the audience, in front of 3,000 people, inspiring the life of those people, including my life, I remember I heard God's voice in my heart that says, Karen, what Tony is doing is what you're going to do for the rest of your life. And that's it. That was it. That's how I got that calling. Now, many people laugh at me and said, Karen, you're from Colombia, you're an immigrant, you're a divorced mother of twin boys, they're 5 months old. Who's going to listen to you? You don't even speak English. They don't understand your accent, and sometimes they still don't. But when I listen to Deepak Chopra speak, I said, okay, if they understand Deepak Chopra, I'm good, man. I'm good. So there were a lot of people that were questioning this. And this was an industry that was really dominated by men, speakers and coaches. Most of them were men. And no Latinas, no young people. So it wasn't something that I saw that the doors were opening to me. A lot of people tried to convince me that this was not for me. Okay. And I started in this industry as a student. I invest in my personal development over $250,000 from my divorce savings, line of credits, everything, my mom's savings, everything. Like, I invested in myself, and people thought I was crazy. Spending all this money. For me, I wanted to look at people in their eyes and tell them that what I teach, I live it, because I'm actually using it in my life. But also I realized, Manny, that there were a lot of coaches and speakers that were not congruent what they were teaching. Once I start sharing the stage with people and being behind the scenes, I was very disappointed at the time, because there were people that their values and their life behind the scenes was not congruent with what they were teaching on stage.
Yep.
So I remember one day coming to my mom and having a conversation with her, and I said, I don't know if I want to be part of this industry. And she was like, mija, like Latinas, like, if you want something to be different, you better change it. That's up to you. You can either complain or go into a mountain and meditate and then don't talk to anyone, or you can change it. And that was for me a huge breakthrough, to understand that, in life, God give us a purpose, the universe give you a calling, and it's up to us to make a difference and change it. I was very blessed to have my first seminar in front of 500 people, and there were 500 prisoners that had life sentence. So can you imagine what can you say to 500 people that will spend their life in prison? And that was another very important breakthrough. I said, I don't know what I'm going to say, but you know what? God knows. So I always share with people a quote, a phrase that works for me and that you can use for you before you have a speech, before you have a business meeting, before you have an important conversation with someone in your life. And it is difficult. Take yourself out. Please take notes. Put yourself out of the space and allow God to speak through you and say this thing. Repeat this. God, you think through me, you act through me, you speak through me. God, you think through me, you act through me, you speak through me. And you can replace God with universe, energy, higher self, whatever works for you. Don't be attached to the word. For me, it's God. And when you do that, when you allowed the message to come through you, and you put yourself out of the space, even though you know you are a vehicle and you are the source of that communication, the essence of the message is not doesn't come from you, because if it comes from you, it's your head, is what you read, you're repeating what somebody else is saying. But if you allow that message that come through you, and then you can touch people's heart, because no matter how difficult it is, no matter how close people are, love is the most powerful force of the universe. And when you are a vehicle, and when you allow the message to come through, and then love is coming through your mouth, love is coming through you, and those words will touch people's heart. And that's what it was for me. When I learned that, I was able to touch people's heart everywhere. National TV, live TV, it doesn't matter, because now I knew that it was not about me. It was about the message that God was using me to share. And that's what allowed me to speak in Harvard University in front of professors when they were like, what is this little girl is going to teach us? Like, they were like this. And in the end, they were holding hands and they were in tears, because God does that. Because when you take yourself out of the space and you really allow the message and your purpose to come through you, miracles can happen.
I love how you got real excited right at the end right there. I was like, I almost got scared. I was like, she was going to get me, girl. All right. I mean, I wrote down some stuff here, but I don't know if we're going to have enough time. There's so many questions. I've got more questions here than we had for Les Brown. These people really want to know what is inside your head. So this is really amazing. But one of the things I have to give you guys some responses on, one of the first things she mentioned in that segment was how much she had invested in herself, even though everyone around her, besides her mom, was out there telling her how it was not possible. Many of you guys watching right now, guys and gals, you're watching right now and you're surrounded by a community of people, maybe it's friends, maybe it's your own family, that are telling you how much it's not possible to build your own dream. They're telling you to stop. They're telling you to cancel it. They're telling you to throw that dream out the window. But my friends, no. You are going to build that dream. You're going to find one person who believes in you, and you stick to that person. Maybe that's me. Maybe that's Karen. Maybe that's somebody in your own circle. Maybe that's somebody you're following on YouTube that just keeps inspiring you to go out there and take action. Don't give up. The only way you fail is when you give up, my friends. So I just want to throw my 2 cents in there, but girl, you gonna keep taking over here. So, all right, Kelly Duroy, she has a question. She says, who is your mentor and how did you know that you were gifted? I love that one.
So this is my belief. I believe we are the chosen one. So listen to this. We are the chosen one. I do believe in my heart that we are one in essence, and that you who are here, who is reading, who is listening, who's watching, you are chosen. Why? Because you're here. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here. So I believe in my heart that I was chosen to do this, that it was a knowingness, that I was called, that passion, the fire. And this fire is not only to me, it's in every person. But you know what is challenging? Only 1% of the population of this planet, 1% are living their life purpose. Only 1% are doing what they love and using it to make a difference and creating abundance with it. And the most sad part of it is the reason that most people use not to do that is because they have fear of not having enough money, of not making it. It's like that relationship with money that is so contaminated by the thoughts. What people say, well, you're supposed to have your hobby and do what you love and then make a living. You're supposed to work for money and then in the side you can build your dream. No, BS. I don't believe in and putting perfume in top of poo-poo. You know, you have to clean up the poo-poo and that's it.
Stop right there. Stop right there. Hold on. We have to stop this. You just said, wait, repeat that again. Don't put perfume on poo-poo.
You cannot put perfume in top of poo-poo. No.
Oh, so we got to put that on a t-shirt, folks. That one's hilarious. I love it. You got to trademark that. That one's too funny.
Exactly. So, right. It's like you cannot pretend that you can live your purpose in a part-time. No. You have to choose to give it all you have. Like when people say, well, what is your plan B? I don't have plan B. I don't have plan C or nothing. I just have plan A. And if it doesn't work that way, well, plan A in another version, plan A in a third version. I only have versions of plan A, But for me, I don't have
The
any other
version
plan.
is the
For me, it was like,
destination.
do I
I
live
like
my
that.
purpose? Yes. Total. Yes. Yes. And for me, it was like, I live my purpose or I die. That's how extreme and how dramatic I made it. I live my purpose. I do what I love. I'm going to dedicate my days to serve, to do what I have in my heart. And I'm going to make a living with this. And I was divorced, single mother of 2 boys. People telling me, Karen, but you can do this. You can model. You are beautiful. You are this. No, that's it. Like that, blind to any other distraction. And I said, God, if you put this dream in my heart, it's because it's possible. I either leave it or I die, literally. And I had no other option. And because I cut my other options, because I allow myself not to have any other option, and then it was possible. And then I start seeing the results. Challenging, yes, but beautiful. I have been living my dream 16 years, doing what I love. I wake up at the time I want. I do what I want. And now I have beautiful things around me. But when I didn't have beautiful things, for me, I was still living in a mansion because I was living my dream. And this is what people have to be willing to do. And who are my mentors? Everyone who is around me. My kids, they teach me every day. My 2 boys that are now 17. Yeah, I'm 40. I know. I'm 40 years old. And my 17-year-old boys, they teach me every day. My mother, my boyfriend, people around me, my sister, they teach me every day. Because if you cannot use your coaching and your namaste and meditation in the people that you love, and then anyone can be spiritual in a mountain or in a seminar or in a retreat. But these things are supposed to be for you to use them in the house when they get in your nerves. When you go into ego mode, that's how you learn that this is what really working. So everyone around me in my mentor, I'm very blessed that the people that were teachers before now became also colleagues. So I shared the stage with Tony, with Deepak Chopra, with Robert Kiyosaki, and I love them. But now I can see that we are humans. And there is, like, you and me, we're the same. And you who is in the chat, we are the same. There is no different. It's what we choose to do with our life. So for me, that's most important. You learn from everyone. You learn from the big ones, the speakers, the coaches, the bestseller artists, but you learn from the cleaning lady. So many people are lacking the values that a person who's cleaning have. So many people forget to ask the waitress their name, look into the eyes. There are so many things that we can learn, especially now in these situations. We have to learn compassion, and we can learn that from everyone, from a little baby, from everyone. And that's the beauty of life, that every person in our life, even the ones that you think, oh, but my ex is not. No, yes, your ex is a teacher, because you manifest your ex. You manifest that relationship. You are responsible for your create. And if you choose to see the teaching of that ex, of that person who hurt you, if you can see also what was your responsibility and the gift, you can understand that everyone is a mentor. Every person, if you are in front of me, it's because there is something I need to learn.
I love it. Everything in life is either a lesson or a blessing, my friend. So kudos to that. Now, we got to be able to get through some of these questions, because I'm getting far more questions than I'm getting answers here. The answers are great. They're mind-blowing, but we're never going to get through all of this. Let's try to get through some of these a little quicker. We're having fun. I think everybody's having some fun here.
Okay.
So let's get back into this Q&A. We have Adolfo Meza. He asked, how did you find a new circle once you got over the survivor feeling?
Perfect.
Yes.
And Manny, give me another 2 questions more so I can put the answer together.
All right, yeah.
So
all right, so okay.
Give me so
let's put a couple. All right, that's smart. I like the way you think there. There you go. So the first one is how to find a new circle once you've got over your survivor feeling. Second one is from Susan Bond. She asked, what for? What a great way to find the gift behind the pain. Thank you for that. What workaround action tips do you suggest for when we're feeling blocked by obstacles? That's a good one there. So what do you kind of do when you're blocked by obstacles? How do you find your new circles? And then Sonia Adam asked, how do you operate in real time? Because most people are upset because of the red tape and politics that come along with success. What's your advice? Great 3 questions, people.
Perfect. Beautiful. Excellent. So I'm going to include all of them in my answer. So first, in order for you to find a new circle, you have to become a member of the circle first. And what I mean is that you don't have to have the same results of those other members, but you have to believe it. that you deserve to be there, that you are worthy to be there, that you have value to share. If you have a story, if you have a gift to share, if you have something that can make people better, that's it. You're it. You are worthy. But most people don't attract the right circle because they think, oh, I'm not in that level. I don't earn that much. I don't know that much. No, no, no. You have something to share of value that those people, no matter how much accomplishment they have, and no matter how high they are, they can learn from you. And if you connect to the value, and if you own that value, and if you said it and you live it and you breathe it, I am worth it, they won't care how much you have. They won't care about your last name. They won't care about your titles. I never went to university, and I was speaking and teaching at Harvard University. Now, bravo for those who went to university. I said everyone is worth it, but you have to own it. And people will perceive that. They will perceive if you are really in it, if you are connected to yourself, if you are connected to the value that you have, and they will be open. They will be open not only to listen, but let me tell you, every person who is really successful is open to help, is open to contribute, is open to share. And now when you go into the circle, and in that circle and other places, you find that challenge of the politics and corruption and the negativity and incongruence that sadly happens, well, like Gandhi once says, you have to be the change you want to see in the world. If you don't like what people are doing, be that change. Make that change. Be the authentic person. Be the one who speaks up. Don't stay quiet. You see something, do something. Say something. People are so surprised when they hear that so many people don't even speak up, even if they see things. That's why murders can happen in front of people, or rape. Things that are very sad can happen in front of people because people don't speak up. They don't do anything. If you see something, act. People will respect you for that. Yes, some people will dislike you, and some people will love you, but it's okay. If you're not making people talk about you, if you don't have haters, if you don't have people that criticize you, and then you're not doing something that make a difference. Some people don't like me because they're, oh, Karen is too diva, hi, Colombiana, hi, she smile too much. And I'm like, no, stop it. It's okay. If you don't like my life, put shades on it. You don't like how I smile?
You don't like my life, put some shades
more.
on. Are you blinding yourself? You put some shades on. Oh, I love it. That was good stuff.
That's it. Exactly.
Now, I really like the fact of
exactly. So this is it.
Of when you said to really stand up for people, because this is one thing I see that every single one of you watching right now can do. You know of an injustice that you can see constantly, and yet you know the solution. You know what should be done, and yet you sit on the sidelines waiting for somebody else to do it. That's the same thing that I saw a couple of years ago when I had that conversation with God that told me, Manny, help the orphans. You have no fear. I was at a fork in the road. I was stuck between a rock and a hard place in a sense, where it was either go down the continued road you were going and sacrifice your morals, or risk the one thing you promised your wife you would never be again, and that is homeless, to build something brand new and start all over. And that night I had a conversation with God. I mean, I had that moment where I didn't believe that God paid attention to me, right? That was my thing. I always told my wife this for years. God delegates anything he has for me to somebody else. I'm not that important. And then I had this night where I knew who I was talking to. And then I got a confirmation the next day when I woke up my wife and told her about this crazy conversation I had with God the night before. And she starts crying. And she goes, this is crazy. Just yesterday, when you're sitting on the bed confused and we were sitting there looking at the ceiling trying to figure out what we're going to do, I started praying. My wife, I started praying that he would reveal himself to you and tell you what you need to do. That night, the first time ever, I have my conversation with God that says, help the orphans, you have no fear. Then I started looking at what injustice can I bring to the table to bring some awareness to, and not just awareness, but a solution. And that's where I came across 2 out of 3 of the kids that are aging out of foster care, ending up dead, homeless, or in jail. And I can bring that solution. That is Manifestation School of Business. That is from orphan to CEO. That is having people like Karen coming on here and motivating the heck out of these kids, so there is no possible way they cannot take action on their dreams. That is the purpose behind this. We are living it. You are seeing it. You are all a witness to this injustice that is going to be fixed. So thank you for bringing that up, Karen, and go ahead and continue on before I cut you off there.
No, please.
I just want to
make sure. I just want to make sure that people know how inspired I am by your story as well. And, Manny, I do this here with you because I know that you walk your talk. I was talking to my boyfriend the other day and I said, Manny is a man of values, of family. I love how much you respect and honor your wife, your kids. You're walking the talk. So that makes a big difference. And I'm very inspired by it. So thank you, my dear. And I'm on fire. I'm here. And I just want to make sure that I also answered the second question within my answer. If you can very briefly just mention, and if you want to mention any other, I just want to make sure that I had them all covered and I don't miss any piece, because I love everyone's questions. And that's one of the things that I do. Like if there are questions here, I will answer them in my social media. Like, let's do it, because for me, it's so
I can even send you
important that
lists
everyone
of
receive
questions.
it. Yes, please
Cool.
do. And then
So
I
whatever
will
we
answer
don't,
them in my stories. Yes.
Perfect. On Instagram. Now, what is your Instagram? Because people were asking in the chats what your Instagram is. Is it just at Karen Hoyos? Perfect.
Yeah, at Karen
First and last name, guys. Really easy.
I came early. First and last name, Hoyos, Hoyos. Karen Hoyos. So yes, it's very easy. And I will answer all the questions that I don't answer today through my stories, because I'm so inspired by this. So yes. What was the second one, my dear? I just want to make sure that I answer it there.
I checked them off, so I can't really remember exact verbiage, but I know the second one was in reference to what happens when you kind of get stuck. How do you kind of overcome those areas?
Yes. Very quickly. I will answer that in a minute. So when you're feeling down, help somebody else. The best way for you to get unstuck is to find something that you can give somebody else. Oh, Karen, but I'm feeling down. Yes, you're feeling down because you're not giving that much. You are depressed because you're distracted of your service. So if you're feeling stuck, find somebody to inspire, find something to give away, give a homeless free food, call somebody, inspire someone, record something that makes a difference, and that will automatically make you feel better, and you will feel unstuck, because you're stuck only when you are in your ego, in your mind, when you make it about you. But when you make it about others, boom, you are unstuck. You're out, baby.
I love it. All right, so let's cover a couple more. We got like 3 more minutes. Actually, we have like 2 more minutes.
All right.
I don't know if you can maybe stay an extra couple of minutes for us.
Yes,
I don't know, maybe.
All
right, let's do it. I don't know. How about you guys? What are your thoughts? Do you guys want to open up the networking and stop her interview right on time in about 2 minutes? Or should we add on an extra maybe 10, 15 for answering the, I love these questions. I want to get some of these answered. Let's go another hour. All right, okay, we can't go another hour, folks. I don't want to take up all of her whole day here, but we're getting some, people are loving it. So this works. Let her go. All right, we'll keep it rolling. So you got your water, I got my shake. I haven't been able to get none of my shake since we started the interview, so I'm gonna get some of that. My wife is keeping me nutritionized, so it's definitely great. Thank you. I will send the blessings her way. Yes, go get them with you. All right, so let's go. The next 3 questions that we've got for you. I'm really liking one, because one of them is from a child genius. Y'all don't know, I have a child genius. The top 20 smartest kids in the UK is in the chat right now. His name is Trey Sean. I haven't released an interview. I did a best in business interview with this kid that I'm going to be releasing very soon. But man, kid's super genius. But first question we have is from Christine Gale. She asks, what books are you reading right now? All right, that's question number 1. Question number 2 is from Trey Sean Ben Salmi. He asks, what would use the best way to up-level your connections and inspire a wider audience? So I guess what would you suggest is the best way to up-level your connections, right? So if you're trying to kind of get into those new circles, how do you kind of find them? And then question 3 comes from Logan Jason. He asks, if you could recommend one book to read, which one would it be? Oh, so that's very similar to the first one. What books are you reading right now, right, currently? What's the best way to find and up-level your connections? And I'm going to leave these questions here just in case you forget them. And then what is one book you would recommend right now? Yeah.
I took notes. See, I learned from my first time. I do practice what I teach.
I love it.
All right. So what books I'm reading right now? The Lean Startup. So right now I'm building my 3rd company. It's a transformational startup. All of you will find out about soon. It's extraordinary. And I believe God gave me this vision in my heart to serve even more and more people. And millions of people will be transformed because of this beautiful startup. So the Lean Startup is an extraordinary book. And I'm reading it right now. I'm also reading a new book from my favorite Turkish author, Elif Chafa, and it's called 10 minutes and 38 seconds. And this is all about the spiritual part. What happens in the last 10 minutes and 38 seconds when someone is dying? Like what happened, like what goes into their life. And for me, the topic of death is beautiful. I believe that is a transition instead of the end. So I'm very connected to the book. I'm also like almost finished it in 2 days. So I love it. So I'm always very connected to growing and learning through books, which is one of my favorite things to do, and write notes. And they don't look pretty after they go through me. So those books
And then
I'm
what
reading
was the
right
name of
now.
that first book again? That first one?
The Lean Startup. Can you
Lean
check, my
Startup.
love, what is the name of the author? They're gonna write it there. The Lean Startup. I recommend, by the way, so I can go with the topic of books. So I'm gonna give you the business and spiritual books in both. Okay. So my book is called Purpose: The Ultimate Quest. I recommend my book because I believe that from you start to you finish, you know what your purpose is. You clarify how you're gonna live it, and it helps you heal your spiritual relationship with money. So just to give you an idea, the first 4 years as a speaker and as a coach, I made no money. I was broke. People were coming to my seminars and
Hold
they
on,
were
pause
like,
right
oh,
there.
I
Pause right
doubled
there.
my income. Yeah, yeah.
4 years of her
4
business,
years.
the first
4 years.
4 years,
Yes.
while she was still motivated, still going out there, still showing up, still not giving up, still going in and just keep it going. 4 years of no results. I mean, probably some results, but no success of results. And I have people in my circle that get frustrated after 4 days of no results. So let's just put it that way, my friends. Remember, 4 years. All right, continue on.
Yes. 4 years, I was surviving. People were coming to my seminars and, oh, I doubled my income, I tripled my income. And I was like, I want to register into my own seminars. Like, what's going on? Like, my students were having better results than me financially. And it was so bad that I didn't know how to pay my rent. And I was kicked out of my apartment and I was homeless. And it was thanks to a family that were participants of my seminars, that graduated of my seminars, and they changed their life through my training. They opened their home, and I went to live with them for 9 months with my mother, my sister, my twin boys, my cat, and my dog. Okay, this is how beautiful these people are. Like the Martinez from Venezuela, I love them. And they say, Karen, you're gonna live with us 9 months. I didn't know it was 9 months at the time, but they said, as long as you need, we'll take care of it. You continue changing people's life. And what happens is that right after that, I met my mentor who helped me, a Jewish self-multimillionaire who helped me transform my spiritual relationship with money. And I make my first $1 million within 90 days. From being homeless to making my first $1 million. And the first thing I did, it was to heal my spiritual relationship with money. Because for me, spirituality and money were separate. Financials and business were separate from God. So I didn't know how to connect them. And it was through this exercise that I teach in my book, Purpose: The Ultimate Quest, that I was able to heal and make the first $1 million. So it is a beautiful work. It's exercise that you do. So I highly recommend it. And then in the business aspect of it, once I healed that part, once I have clear what my purpose and what the vision was, there is a book that is called 0 to 1 from Peter Thiel, who was one of the founders of PayPal and the first angel investor for Facebook. Amazing. You can see there what makes people and companies to be the one without competition, like good monopoly. So those books I highly recommend. They're easy to read, short to read.
Never even heard of that, either of them. Thank you. Thank you for that. I'm going to go get those books. I haven't even heard of them.
I'm excited about that. And
I
the new
love it.
connections. Okay, this is really great. Now with social media, this is the beauty of social media. You can send a message. You can knock somebody's door at any moment. Don't be shy. Introduce yourself. I remember many years ago, I was on Facebook, and I saw a big speaker who was doing a training in Egypt for billionaires, and I saw the lineup. They were all like super like over there, and I was like, you know what, God, I know you want me there. So I wrote a message to this guy, and I say, oh, congratulations on your event. You always acknowledge from the heart when you want to connect with someone who is like, you know, higher level, but not just to like broach them, you know, like really authentically, you admire something authentically from
I
them.
love her
And then
analogies, man. They're
I
so
yeah,
don't
she yeah, like we said that in Colombia, like no, you have to be authentic. You cannot just, you know, blow their butt. So I authentically acknowledge him, and then I say, you have
don't
great
blow their butts,
speakers.
people. Oh God,
No,
this is
so
the best
I
interview ever.
say I say to this guy, you have great speakers. He says, I have the best ones of all. And I say, no, you don't. And he's like, what do you mean? Yes, I do. No, you're missing one to have the best ones of all. And he's like, yeah, who? Me. And I introduce myself, powerful elevator speech. Here I am. This is what I do. Tata. He's like, okay, let's do it. And I went to Egypt to train billionaires just because I dare to send a message and I dare to connect on social media. Don't be afraid. Let's do it. Like, send that message, send that email. Most people think, well, they receive so many messages. No. Before you send the message, God, you speak through me, you write to me, you act through me. Boom, you send a message, and that's how you connect. You just ask. My dear friend Bill Watch says everyone is approachable. So just do it.
So true. I know everyone asks me, they're like, Manny, how do you have all these cool people in your network? How did you get connected to Ty Lopez and Les Brown and Grant
Yeah.
Cardone and all these people? I'm like, I showed up. I don't know. I mean, I met them and I talked to them and I, you know, went and
Yep.
took action. You know, that's like the hardest part for everybody is to actually go out there and take action. I just saw in a comment recently,
Yep.
a guy spent $10,000 to go to this big name person's event that had a huge lineup. Okay, now we all know big events out there, big celebrities, blah, blah. I'm not going to say the names. This guy spent 10 grand at the event and he met not one of those speakers. And they had a 20-person lineup, not one. And I could easily tell why. I mean, the guy just sat there and thought that everyone was going to come to his seat. He never got out of the seat, right? I mean, you can't meet the superstars sitting in your seat, right? Now, I can't come up with these cool names like don't blow them in the butts. But at the end of the day, you know, you're killing them with these taglines here. So I can't even compete. I'm not even going to try. All right. So let's get into the next questions. Questions lined up. Somebody asked, what is the text-in keyword, just in case you are not getting the keyword yet? It is leadership. You want to stay connected with Karen. She's got a free gift for everybody. You will get it by texting in the word leadership to 714-369-8528. We'll do a couple more minutes of Q&A, and then I'm just going to have to let you go, Ken. We're going to have to leave them wanting more. We're going to have to bring you back for a version 2. I'm more than happy to do that. So we've got
That's the power of Latinas. They want more.
Yeah, I know. We need more. We need more. See, this is what happens when we bring the Latinos at the event. It's just fire all day. All right, so next question. I got 3 more questions here, and we'll finish it with this one. These are going to be the last 3 questions for you to answer.
All right.
We have another one from Trey. I actually had to do a little notation to extend the event for you guys. So the event has been extended so we can open up that networking. I wanted to see which questions I wanted to ask. All right, so the first one comes from Fraka Kazar. She asks, you are amazing. Who is your guidance other than your higher power? So who's your guidance other than your higher power? Desiree Arias asks, how do you structure your day? What is your best business advice? So we got 2 questions in there. I want to see how that day goes for you. Let me see here. The last question is going to be from Jeff Cunningham. Best way to scale your coaching business once you have systems in place. All right, so the last 3 questions are, who is your higher power? No, who is your guidance other than your higher power? So maybe your mentor, maybe your coach, right? Who are you a sponge for knowledge of right now? Your second question is going to be, how do you structure your day, right? And what is your best business advice? That's all in one question. And then the last question goes to Jeff Cunningham. on best way to scale your coaching business once you have your systems in place. And go.
Perfect. Let's go. So first, guidance. I will say my mother, in the wisdom part of it, in the essence part of it, she's very congruent and integrity with her word. So I learned from her to honor my word, to make my word as law. Like for me, my word is law. And when I don't, for some reason, honor because something happened, an emergency, to clean up the poo poo. So just to honor, to take responsibility, to clean up the space and recommit. So that's very important. And obviously, I'm always learning from the people that I work with, my team, the people around. Like I mentioned before, for me, everyone is a mentor, but I'm always studying people that are successful. I love to read and watch documentaries about powerful athletes, top athletes, like people that, even though they're not in my industry, but they have been successful in their industry. So I study their belief system, their mindset, their values, and I always find common denominators that I can actually put in practice in my life and share with other people. So that's like in guidance aspect.
I
The
love it.
second part will be the structure of my day. So this is funny because I don't really have a structure of a day every day. Like every day for me is different. So one thing I do practice is I put in my calendar first my family, and around my family I put my business. So many people
Like that.
structure their business first in their calendar, and then they try to squeeze kids and family and boyfriend and yoga time, and they don't have time. So I put family me time first in my calendar, and everything else I put around it. I never miss it. That's why the field trips for my kids or the plays, because I was always there because I put those first in my calendar. And I said no to speaking engagements, events, $50,000 payment. They say no, and they change the date of the event to have me and pay me because I had a play for the school of my kids. So people most of the time are not willing to say no. They are afraid to lose the opportunity, but you don't give back your health. You know this from our friend Les Brown. When he didn't put his health first, he got very sick, and that happens to Tony as well. So I see a lot of people working, do what they love, but they don't take care of their health. So I put that in my calendar, and within that time, my time to exercise. I'm vegan, so I'm take care of my health. I like to sleep.
And
I
she's
like to
vegan.
16 years, no animal. The only animal I eat is human. My
Oh,
boyfriend. That's it. Another topic for another time. So make
okay.
sure that you
We
put
can't
in
just
your
drop that
calendar
on us
what
and not
matters.
explain that. Okay, we're gonna have to get behind what that means. What?
That means that is the only meat I eat. That
Oh,
other than that, I don't.
we're on a totally different topic here. We can't talk like this. This is a children's show here, people.
See, that's what happened when you put a Colombian in the
Oh
house.
God.
That's what happened. You mix the spirituality with passion and everything. So definitely that's it. So the
Oh
structure
gosh.
depends of what's in that calendar, your family, your values, and then there are some days I'm very busy. I work with my team, and I'm moving now to the third question, which is how you scale your coaching business. I built a great team, and those team members, every one of them are graduates of my seminars. All of them are graduates. They all did a certification program for coaching, and now they want to give back. So the best way for you to have a great team is people that experience your coaching, transform their life through your tools, and now they will be happy to share it with other people and make money with it. So I have a great team. I delegate a lot. I actually like to do the minimum. I'm lazy in that way. I mean, I don't like to do much work. So anything I don't like to do, I delegate because there are other people that they love to do those things. So I do what I like. That's why I don't drive, because I don't enjoy driving. I don't have a driving license for 17 years. And people say, oh, Karen, what if an emergency? Well, if an emergency comes, I will figure it out who will drive. And then I take care of the emergency. But I don't have a license because I don't like it. So I don't really do the things that my heart is not in it, because I know that there is someone who loves to drive. And so they go ahead and drive. So building a team that they walk the talk, with the message that you share. Delegate everything that is not in your heart. Trust. When you delegate, you have to trust.
Yes.
And then be able to go with it, go with the flow. And then that way you enjoy your life, you enjoy your business, and give a lot of value through social media, answer questions, reply to people, connect with people, and people are always open. And the last bonus, be willing and open to be on TV, on media. You never know. I met the producer of a national TV show in a bathroom in a play because I'm always talking to people. And she said, Karen, let's go. 40 million people are going to watch you. And I was like, let's go in it, because I was ready. So always be ready. I say to God, God, bring to me the people that you want me to meet. So if you're sitting next to me in an airplane, it's because something we will do. There is nobody who is in my space that God is going to bring it to me for a reason. So be open, be alert, and you'll see how your coaching business or any other business and your life will continue growing. Just be alert. Don't be asleep in your phone. Otherwise, you will miss the miracle of life happening around you.
You can't really finish it better than that, folks. I'm still tripping on that statement she made, so I'm like totally off the wall here. But either way, you guys have gotten some great insights today. This is the longest interview we've done on this event. We just couldn't stop. This was so amazing. So I really thank you for tuning in and coming on the show with us today, Karen. And everybody watching, please connect with this woman. You guys obviously have been seeing some amazing insights